Right, it's Venus day 175. And this is working, surprisingly. I want to be able to take out some of the steam or use as coolant. And this bit is already low in pressure, so I do want it to be a bit cold. No, it doesn't need to be. Oh, I didn't take the pressure regulator though. Right. Let's see how high you can fill it up. It is already going to be hot, so it shouldn't get any worse. At this point, it's not colder than Venus atmosphere, so it shouldn't be too dangerous. Although, of course, canisters are always dangerous. I don't want to leave a canister in there unattended. Right. The pressure here is not going to be very high, but there's also a lot more capacity. So let's see if this works. Oh, why are you not doing anything? So you should be out of the burning phase now. Yeah, you're at the same temperature and even the same pressure. But the burning should be stopped now. And you should restart. And there is plenty of volatiles and there is plenty of oxygen, right? Oh, good. That was just the label. So all of this should be working. Why isn't it? Disabling burning doesn't seem to work. You are burning. You get all the way down. Well, not here, maybe. No, that's a safety. That just jumps away if the temperature gets too high. Five gets. I should name the registers here. Doesn't matter. Hey, so it is burning, so this is not going to run. That's fine. Here, none of this should be true. This is not 450. Much colder than that, so that should be okay. Booster. Right, so R3, R1. R1 checks if the pressure input on the... Right, so the pressure input on the combustor is lower than 8000. R2 I don't care about. So pressure input. That should be fine. U, pressure in the... Oh. Greater than 1000. Oh, this is the mixer. Ah, right. So if the pressure here is higher, that doesn't make sense. This should be lower, right? And R1 has The combustor pressure input is higher than 0. That is okay. So this part is wrong. Well, no. This is supposed to be inverted, right? So if the pressure is lower than 1000, you are lower than 1000, then this is not going to be 1. R5 says whether the gas mixer is running, so that's also false. And R1 has whether the combustor is running, which is also false. Right, so this is the problem. The pressure is too close, probably. But I have plenty of room to deal with that now, so let's just do it the proper way. There. This should work. No?
Health low.
Okay, so something else about the logic is wrong. No, R3 and R4. So these should both be false, because the pressure is not higher than 500. What remains is R1, which is whether the combustor is on. And it should be off. So 0 doesn't equal 1, which means that this burning should be turned off. And the combustor is disabled. It's not turned on. So why aren't you switching back? Oh, this can definitely use some improvements, but the basic approach should work. Still hasn't turned off. Okay, let's go one by one then. Where's the most fun? You are one. What? Oh. I did it the wrong way around. Worse. Yeah, even in serious programming, you kind of want to avoid negative logic if you can. Okay, we're no longer burning. This is emptying out. Oh, it's already done. You are completely empty, right? That makes sense because we're not producing anything. Volatiles are going to build up much slower. The pressure here is much lower. Which is because this doesn't really, right? Because you are stuck. We need to deal with the centrifuge logic again. Yep. Yeah, water shouldn't be a problem. I mean, it still takes some babysitting. I'm going to deal with that. Right. So you, if the centrifuge I need the configuration cartridge, I think, just to see what the current status is exactly. Yeah, and also the GPS cartridge no longer does anything really, or it still works the way it used to, but now the tracker cartridge does the same thing. So there's not much reason to use the GPS cartridge. You already start with GPS. Import count, export count is equal, and on the centrifuge, import count is higher than export count. Yeah. And the problem is that the export count, well, what did you really export? Oh. Do I really care about the export count from the centrifuge though? I shouldn't care about this. No, the export count from the recycler should be the same as the import count from the centrifuge. And the import count is supposed to be greater than the export count. It's supposed to be equal, right? That's the problem. Oh, equal or greater. Do I have something for that? For instance, functions. Okay, greater than or equal is SGE. Okay. I'm not sure if this is going to work. At least it will let this finish. Now you're exporting. So you exported 5. Oh, that's also wrong. Yeah. I should just keep this running all the time, shouldn't I? How much does a recycler cost? 100 watts. Do I have any chance of automating this at all? Because I do have a readout on the regions. But if I just wait for the regions to go to 0... Yeah, so what if I did this? If I have the import count, if there's a new item imported, So if import count is greater than 0,
Health critical.
I could just switch. Would switch the recycler on until the regions increase. Then I could disable it again.
Health low.
But that might be enough for the recycler. Yeah, but only as long as it can export into the centrifuge. So I still need to tie the two together somehow. I think that the best thing to do for now is to just disable the centrifuge or the recycler automation, because it's going to be a lot easier to just let it do its thing. Yeah, and we are getting small amounts of carbon dioxide at least. Make an art mine. There. I think I'll just do that. Can I do something slightly smarter? Just have it turned off when the recycling is done. When regions goes to 0, I turn you off. Otherwise, I don't do anything. Is any of this salvage? I'll keep it the way it is for now, and let's just think about something at least a bit simpler. So I only want to do this, right? So if the reagent count, let's use a new register anyway. And I want to branch if the reagent count is not 0. Right? And if it is 0, I will disable the recycler. It turned off as soon as it exports the biomass. Yeah, there's a bit of a buildup. And this is a problem, of course. Just can't fit anymore. But that's okay. That should work. Why, for the centrifuge, it's also a bit complicated. But what I can do is wait until the regions get high enough and then stop it. Ooh, that's the end of day 175. So, thanks for watching. I'll think about the centrifuge in the next one. And then, yeah, the centrifuge really wants to be in the frame, right? The design just doesn't want to be inside. Okay. Hey, that's it. Bye.